Hey everybody, it's Mary, your 90 Day Fiancé, Kiki and Kippett's co-host, and I'm here to cover episode 4, season 5 of Before the 90th Day, Ghosts from the Past. And excuse me if I look like a ghost myself. I've been sick this whole week, and I dragged myself from my sick bed to do this recap for you. So here we go with 90 days in 900 seconds. So we start off with Mike and Ximena. Poor Mike. I really want this to work out for him, but I just foresee for some reason this is not going to be one of those relationships that are going to work out. This is not a David and Annie, a Lauren and Alexi, or even a Robert and Annie. I don't see this working out at all. So we start off the episode with Ximena picking up Mike from the airport. And unfortunately, in real life, you can't translate a text. And Mike is finding out this very quickly. So they go to a restaurant and the tension is awkward because the two of them can't communicate. And Jimena's like, oh, he's a little sweetie. He's so cute with his glasses, but they cannot communicate, people. Communication in a relationship is key. And as we see with many of these relationships, Hamza and Memphis, naming another one, communication is key. And when there's a language barrier, it's fucked up, people. It's fucked up. So, um, his translation app is fucking up on him. He bought another device that's fucking up on him. He gets to Jimena's house thinking that he's just gonna meet Jimena's father, stepmother, and her kids, but instead her whole family, like cousins, aunts, uncles, cousins second removed, God knows, like everybody was there. And poor Mike can't communicate with anyone. His translator app is fucking up, but the kids love the gifts, so that worked out. But unfortunately, he couldn't get any boom boom with Ximena because her kids are used to sleeping in her bed and they were crying, and he couldn't get any boom boom the first night after looking forward to it for a full year. So we'll see what happens. One thing I'm going to say, her children are adorable and they seem to really have taken to Mike. And I know Mike really wants this to work. And I'm not saying Ximena doesn't want this to work either, but I don't see it working, people. Moving on to another relationship that I really don't see working. I see these two being more as friends than being in a romantic relationship. Alina and Caleb. Now, is it just me, or was Caleb so greasy he was like literally dripping off the screen this week? I'm sorry. That first scene when he bought Alina her Turkish coffee in bed, he was so greasy to me. He was like dripping off the screen. Or maybe because I'm sick. I don't know. Drop me a comment and let me know what you think. So, and why didn't he make 2 cups of coffee? He brings the coffee to Alina, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna steal a little bit of this." Come on, douche! You can make 2 cups of coffee. What the hell? And Alina, you go, girl. She's like, I'm not thirsty. It's not like I'm begging for dick. No, you're not begging for dick, girl. You're just begging for some affection. I mean, what the fuck? 13 years you wait to see this guy in person, and all he does is give you a hug. He couldn't even give you a kiss. I mean, I'm with her. Now, I know a lot of viewers are up in arms about the whole baby carrier thing. Personally, I did say to myself, what the fuck when he pulled it out? But if Alina wasn't offended by it, she's the little person in this relationship. Who the fuck are we to say that that was offensive? If the little person is not offended by it, then hey, more power to Caleb. That's what I have to say. Now, Elijah. Everybody needs a friend like Elijah. I will scream this from the fucking mountaintop. Elijah's face while he was sitting there in the lobby waiting for them to come down. That was, I'm sorry, that was a classic shit stirrer face. And you gotta love him for it. He is there to protect his girl and to make sure that this guy is worthy of his girl, Alina the Queen. Okay, and that is the way a best friend should be. And I give it to Elijah. He wants to make sure that Caleb could take care of her. He wants to make sure that Caleb, understands that she has needs, and that there's certain things that she cannot do. And, Alina may not want to necessarily admit that she can't do these things, or, want to put herself in a position to tell Caleb, no, I don't want to do it, because she wants to, just like every other girl, she's pursuing this guy. So Elijah is just trying to let Caleb know, listen, you need to think with your head, the head on your shoulders, and not the other head, dude. So come on. And everybody needs a friend like Elijah. That's all I have to say. So Alina has this big secret, apparently, and she was living with her ex until recently, and she's afraid to tell Caleb this because she doesn't want Caleb to think she's a liar. I don't think it's going to be a big of a deal, but we'll see. And one thing I wanted to comment on briefly, you know how they have the intro pictures for each couple? They need to change the one for Caleb and Alina. I don't like it. Moving on, Hamza and Memphis. All I have to say is paging Adam the translator. If anybody needs Brittany and Yazan's translator from 90 Day Fiancé the other way, is Hamza in Memphis. She should have packed him in her fucking suitcases, okay? These two cannot communicate at all. So he picks her up from the airport, and this brings me to my VIP of this episode, his friend Yusuf. Yusuf drove basically 4 hours round trip, people. Do you realize this? 2 hours to the airport and 2 hours back to Hamza's house. Okay. And he was trying to listen on this whole conversation that Memphis and Hamza was having in his back seat. No fucking clue what was going on because he doesn't understand English, obviously. So Yusuf gets my VIP for this episode for one, driving 4 hours back and forth to pick up a stranger at the airport. And secondly, not driving off the road trying to eavesdrop on a conversation that he had no idea what the fuck was going on. You go, Yusuf. So they get to Hamza's house. And after Hamza tells Memphis that there will be no sexy time because his mother doesn't want them sleeping in the same room. So Memphis is not too happy about this. She's like, what the hell? And she's kind of like insecure because Hamza has the screensaver of his phone, a picture of himself and not a picture of her. Now, poor Hamza's fucking clueless what he did because of the language barrier, people. Paging Adam the translator. And by the way, we interviewed Adam the translator. Check out our YouTube channel for a great interview. He's a great guy. You guys should check it out. So anyway, Hamza's clueless why Memphis is mad. And then Memphis gets to about sexy time. And then Hamza breaks the news that they cannot have sexy time because his mom says they cannot have sexy time before marriage. And Memphis is like, what the fuck? They get to the house. She meets mom and sister, goes into her room and tells Hamza that it is important for her to respect his mother's rules. Why don't they get a hotel? Sexy time is so important before they get married. And it's so important that she respects his mother's rules that she sneaks Hamza into her room anyway and gets busted by mom in the morning. And as we see by the preview of next week, the sex wasn't even worth it because he came within 5 minutes. So all I have to say is Memphis, paging Memphis, you are a beautiful woman. There is no need for all the insecurity. If a guy doesn't want you, fuck him. Move on to the next one. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Kim and Soldier Boy. The icing of the ankles. That's all I have to say. The icing of the ankles, people. We all know she wanted to throw her horny self in that ice bath because she was trying to ice herself off. But anyway, so he's meeting with Rosa Ree, who's this famous artist in Tanzania. Immediately, Kim is ready to flip tables Teresa Giudice style of Real Housewives of New Jersey. Please, only one person is allowed to flip tables in reality TV, and we all know it's Teresa Giudice. Okay, so she's threatening to flip tables. They better respect her. Blah 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 blah. So she thinks that Usman's team set it up to like try to show Usman another type of woman that he should be with, not an older white woman. And this is not a business relationship at all. This is not a business meeting, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward to the Rosa Ree meeting. And basically, Rosa's like, I know why you're here, Usman, but why is Kim here? And Usman's like, oh, Kim is here because she is my potential. And who knows? We may get married. And Kim's face immediately lights up. And Rosa's like, oh, so you are potential wifey. And Kim loves it. Kim is sucking all of this up like a sponge. My God. Paige and Kim, hello. I mean, Usman is playing her like a big mound of Play-Doh, and she is loving every minute of it. So, moving on. Johnny and Ella. You know, my husband was watching part of the show with me today, and Ella's part of a coven, apparently. And my husband said, I can imagine what her neighbors think, seeing what she does in the backyard. I mean, first we see her doing her little cosplay thing with the dummy and hitting it with a sword. And then now this week we see her with her friends making whatever the hell water she was making. I forgot whatever the fuck she was doing. And my husband said, I can imagine if she lived in New York City, what the neighbors would think of her. If she lives in New York City, I think the neighbors would probably throw water on her if she was doing that in her backyard, but that's a whole nother story. So Johnny sees a traditional Chinese doctor to get traditional herbs to help her lose weight. Nothing like love, to meeting your love for the first time and handing her a bag of traditional Chinese herbs to help her lose weight. I mean, that's true love right there. And Johnny says that he could be yippee cowboy. I mean, hey, who knows? Stranger things have happened. That's a big concern, Novella, whether Johnny could conform to ranch life. And Johnny's insisted that he's been to the zoo a couple of times in China and he likes animals. So he thinks he could conform to the ranch life. But as they were having a conversation while Ella was wearing this weird blonde wig that's apparently an Asian male anime character who switches into a female that has clouds for private parts, apparently. Johnny is telling her that his major concern is whether once he gets to the States, getting back to China because of his son and his parents depending on him. And with the whole pandemic thing, going back to China is really hard. And dun, dun, dun. Next week, there was a little bit of foreshadowing that looks like maybe Johnny may not get here. So we'll see what happens. And moving on to our last couple, Jasmine and Geno. Now, I know Jasmine has been getting a lot of, I don't want to say hate because hate is a strong word, but Jasmine is not liked among a lot of fans of the 90-Day universe. And there's a lot of comparison to her and Larissa. It's still early, okay? And I don't want to compare her to Larissa just yet. I think Jasmine's funny as all shit. Her laugh cracks me up. Yes, she's possessive. Yes, she's crazy. But also, you also have to remember a lot of it is, for the drama. So I think she's playing up her possessive, crazy side for the drama. I mean, come on, who the hell would be this possessive and this crazy over Gino? We're talking about Gino, people. But I believe that she loves him in her own goofy, crazy way. And yes, she's possessive and crazy. Aren't we all in some way? And if you say you aren't, then good for you. I know I am. So these two are just fucking goofy with their laugh. They crack me up every time the two of them start laughing, I start laughing. So I guess that's a good thing. So they had sex. It blew Jasmine's mind. She didn't get to see Gino's head, but she got to feel it in the dark because he finally took his hat off. Yay, Gino. So they're in a souvenir shop, and Jasmine wants him to get rid of anything that represents his ex wife's country, Brazil, and replace it with Panama. So Gino's like, don't call my ex wife stupid. She's just my ex wife. And Jasmine's like, no, she's your stupid ex wife. So let's see how this goes. I mean, I think these two are they're just funny for now, but we all know Jasmine is a little out there. But we're women. We could be a little out there. And if you say you aren't, good for you. I know I am. So, okay, that's all, people. I'm not feeling too well again, so I'm gonna log off. You guys have a good night. See you next week. Please subscribe, like, share whenever you guys do a YouTube videos, and please subscribe to my partner Brianna's channel, Brianna Nirvana. Brianna's Nirvana. I'm sorry. She has lots of cool meditation and yoga videos for you guys who have your resolutions to meditate, do yoga, and all that other cool stuff. So please check out her channel and have a good night. Thanks. Bye.